Brent0331, appreciate you guys tuning in. In this video, we're going to take an up-close look at the new Kicking Mustang Concealment Systems, or KMCS for short, Oakland pattern ghillie suit. So this is a brand new camouflage pattern that they just came out with in their new ghillie suit design. And they've got two other patterns. They have the green for the spring and summer, and they've got the new age brown for the fall and winter. This is their newest pattern, Oakland, which is, my understanding, supposed to be like a transitional ghillie suit. And also, you can use it year-round. Obviously, you just tailor it to your environment. You can do that using the adaptive ghillie mesh that he offers, or this new suit design will enable you to tie in natural vegetation a lot better. So you guys will see that here very shortly. One of the big things that I really love about the KMCS suits, hey, this is it, guys. It fits all in this bag, and this bag is attached to the Parka itself, so it's extremely convenient. I took this particular suit out to One Shepherd recently to do some field testing with it. I used it during a field training exercise in FTX, the final culminating event where it's force on force, and I used just the Parka because I still had to put my gear. I wasn't acting as a sniper. I was more or less acting as a regular infantryman or reconnaissance element, and I used the Parka to plus up my camouflage, and holy crap, guys. It worked really well, okay? Just using the Parka, not even using the whole suit. So I can only imagine if I had the whole suit on, how much more effective I would have been, okay? But again, whole suit is in this bag here. So let's go ahead and undo this drawstring. You guys can see the bag itself is actually sewn in to the Parka. So 3 pieces here. We got the Parka itself. We've got the trousers. And then we got the Balaclava. Now, I've already added a few pieces of what's called adaptive ghillie mesh. You guys can, if you go to his website, you'll see this stuff. It's really cool. It's like a green variant mesh that when the light hits it, it reflects it very well, so it doesn't darken the suit like you see on most camouflage patterns. But this stuff is great. You can tie it in to suit your environment. Simply, you just take it and kind of squinch it together, and then stick a zip tie through the mesh itself of the suit, and then zip it down, cut the excess zip tie, and then there you go. It's attached to the suit. And I just put it sporadically on the suit itself just to kind of help plus up the camouflage. As you guys can see in my environment here right now during this time of year, it's mid-September, and we've got still a decent amount of green, but there's a lot of brown on the ground, so I'm trying to tie it all in together. Okay, so let's start with the Parka. So Parka, fairly simple, guys, self-explanatory. Okay, go ahead and throw this sucker on. So this secures with buttons. There's no zipper or Velcro or anything like that. And the buttons are protected by an inner material here. So stick it in there so you don't have to worry about, while you're crawling on your belly, your buttons snagging on something and ripping off. The outermost material is going to catch it and protect those buttons. Just going to button this up. Give me a second, guys. Alright, you guys can see I'm going to, for the sake of time here, I'm going to leave those undone. But buttons up in the front. It also has loops here at the cuff, and that just goes right over your thumb. Why is that important? Because when you're on the ground and you're crawling, you're pulling this jacket back as you crawl. So having these thumb loops here that your thumbs can go in really help keep, it won't pull back at all. It'll keep the actual ghillie sleeve in place, and then completely negates that possibility of happening. And then you guys can see there's kind of some excess material, so it kind of goes over your gloves to help plus up your camouflage there. The hood's a very good design. It's it's large, so it can accommodate. If you have a helmet, you can actually put this over your helmet. Now, when I was at One Shepherd, I couldn't do that for the simple fact as One Shepherd, you use Miles gear, the laser engagement system. You have to wear harnesses, a harness over your torso, and then a harness on your head. So I couldn't put the actual hood over because that would block the harnesses, and that's cheating. Okay, so But the hood, again, oversized, so you know you can pull it over your weapon. So if you had your weapon on you, which you should, obviously, and you needed to pull this somewhat over your optic, you could, okay, to help plus up your concealment by helping break up that human silhouette, that very recognizable human silhouette of your head. Additionally, there's a metal wire in the hood that can be formed, okay? So very easy to manipulate this to how you want it. I really like that feature. Got some drawstrings with some cord lock, so you can pull this tight and tighten it up. So between pulling this tight, tightening up these drawstrings, and the metal wire in the hood, you can absolutely form this, guys, to exactly how you want it, and offer, you know, cover as much as you want, or as little as you want, really. So it's just upon you. So this was great for me, because while I was using this during the FTX, I mean, pull it out of the way, didn't have to worry about it. I could just tighten it up, and it didn't interfere with any of my gear or anything like that. Moving on to the actual suit itself, so you guys can see the camouflage pattern here. You have these these leaf litter style designs. They're actually sewn into the suit, so that is permanent to the suit. The suit itself has this mesh, breathable mesh material. So during the FTX at One Shepherd, it would get pretty warm during the daytime, probably 85 to 90 degrees. And at one point I stepped off, I just had a skivvy shirt underneath this, and this was essentially my top, and boy, that kept me super cool, let me tell you. Okay, so very breathable mesh material. My understanding is that the material is IR compliant, okay, so it does give it some added camouflage benefits when being observed through night vision equipment. I get that question all the time. So this stuff is NIR compliant and will offer camouflage through the night vision spectrum, all right? There are sewn in loops, okay, so this is great stuff here, so that you can tie in, you know, jute burlap or adaptive ghillie mesh or whatever you want to add to this suit. It's already got some loop points throughout the entirety of the ghillie suit itself, so that you can add that natural vegetation or that additional artificial camouflage. You also have these like dreadlock style ropes here. What are these good for? That's getting that natural vegetation, you know, balling it up together, dropping it or putting it on your suit, and then you just simply tie it onto the suit itself, okay? Nothing is better than the natural camouflage, the natural vegetation out there. When you add that stuff to your suit, it just takes it to a whole new level. So these little ghillie dreadlocks here are going to help facilitate that, and those are all over the suit, as you guys can see. So really helps break up that human silhouette when you add in that natural vegetation. Artificial vegetation is great, guys, but you totally take it to the next level when you add that natural vegetation. So that is the jacket in a nutshell. Very nice, accommodating, great features. I really like this, guys. Again, I wore this during One Shepherd, and it really worked out very well. And at one point, I was a lead element for a little reconnaissance element that we were doing, and I saw the enemy before they saw me, so I engaged them first, and kind of got trapped in between myself, or the enemy, and my friendly forces that were about 40 yards behind me, and I just went prone and just started sniping fools. I couldn't get up because there was, you know, fire being exchanged, laser fire being exchanged between my buddies and the enemy, and I just went prone and was picking them off as, you know, targets presented themselves. So very, very effective camouflage pattern. And I mean, hell, I don't know how many of them I took out before they finally found me, but my teammates were either dead or had fallen back, and it became just me before they finally figured out where I was and was able to close in on me. But I attribute that to the effectiveness of the camouflage pattern, 100%. All right, so here's the pants. Now, again, just like the cuffs and the sleeves on the Parka, these pants come with suspenders already attached to the pants themselves. The suspenders can be removed, so they do have you know, easy on, easy off Velcro there, So, you know, you could use other suspenders if you want to do, but they do come with these, and these are adjustable. You guys can see the little buckle here. So adjust them to your specific size. But suspenders are great for ghillie suits. Same reason with the sleeves. You're crawling on the ground, your pants are pulling down. Okay, even with a belt, when you're on your belly and you're moving, you know, it's pulling down on those pants. So suspenders are going to help keep those pants in place, so you don't have to worry about that problem. The waistband here is elastic, so it helps, you know, pull closer to your body without the need of a belt. But you also do have belt loops, so you can still utilize a belt if you so choose. But between the elastic, the suspenders, and the option for a belt, I don't think these are going anywhere. All right, the fly, there's no zipper or buttons or anything on the fly. It's completely open, right? So if you got to take a piss, you just, you know, reach in between your ghillie suit and get access to your regular pants that way. The pockets, same thing. There's a slit on the side so you can access the normal pockets on your regular pants that you have underneath. So if this was over, if I had these pants on right here, I'd use my normal pocket by just reaching through this and gain access to my normal pocket. And the bottom, so just like the cuff on the sleeve, the bottom has an elastic loop here, so that's going to go over your boot, so it's going to help keep your pants down around your boots. So again, as you're crawling, you know, the pants tend to pull in whatever direction. These elastic bands here are going to help keep this pant leg down and you know, keep it from pulling up. You also have a drawstring down here, so you can tighten up the bottom of the pant leg, so you don't have a big, you know, floppy pant leg. You can tighten it down, so help keep bugs out and everything else. Kind of the same purpose. Tucking in your trousers to your boots or blouse in your boots, same deal. So now again, guys, I added some adaptive ghillie mesh to help it blend in better with my environment currently over here, but you guys can see the camouflage pattern itself. Same as the Parka, same material. I just added some of that adaptive ghillie mesh. But you guys can see the ghillie dreadlocks are on the pants as well, so you can add that natural vegetation to the pants. So, all right, last piece I'm going to talk about is the Balaclava. So, Balaclava, very simple. We're just going to throw it on here. Now, one of the great things about the KMCS design Balaclavas is the way he does these. It kind of has this like straight piece, so it's cut, but this piece in the front goes straight down, and what does that do? It helps break up that natural silhouette of your face, or not just your face, but your head in general, right? So the human eye is very detective of, you know, the human silhouette, whether it be your head and shoulders or just your upper torso area. So this helps break up that, because it takes away that jawline and that, you know, figure, that recognizable figure of your head. So I really like how he does that. So you got a slit for the eyes, and that's it. And then in the back here, these things are fully adjustable. So you can adjust this in two different spots. So essentially pulling back and then pulling this back. You got two different adjustment points to do that. So, really easy. On, off. And on this Balaclava, it's got some tie-in points here. So again, you add artificial vegetation there. I don't see any ghillie threads or dreads on this, but that makes perfect sense, because, you know, this is going on your head, and then you got the oversized hood that goes over the top, which will accommodate you know, the addition of natural vegetation. You don't want a bunch of natural vegetation in your face. So, but nonetheless, guys, that is the Balaclava. And again, all of this fits conveniently inside the suit's bag, which is attached to the Parka. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and roll this up. I've really became a fan of gear that rolls up and has its own Parka, or excuse me, own bag attached to it. You know, whether it's a pack cover or, you know, any like something like along this lines, like a Parka. Man, gear that just does that, in my opinion, is just so much better. Anytime it has like a separate independent bag, that bag always gets lost, or you know, always goes to something else, or never seems to fit right. But all the gear that I have that has a built-in bag, this has been great. All right, so whole suit is in this bag, as you guys can see. Gotten it tightened down. So this is a whole entire ghillie suit. So this fits easily in your pack, you know, small day pack. You know, it even can compress it down. So when I push this in my pack, I pushed the hell of it because I was running a medium malice pack at the time, and I didn't have as much space as I normally do with like a crossfire pack. So I had to make space. So when you do that, just compress the crap out of it, and I was able to get more gear in there. But you guys can see this whole ghillie suit is inside this bag, and nice and convenient. So well, that's it, guys. That is the new KMCS Oakland camouflage pattern ghillie suit offered by Kicking Mustang Concealment Systems. It's available at their website. I will have a link that you guys can go. I think you get a 5% or 10% coupon, some sort of coupon. Don't quote me on the actual percentage, but if you go through my link, you'll get some money off there. But I like this, guys. This is a great ghillie suit, and very lightweight compared to like older style ghillie suits that, you know, you make back in the day, where you just took old BDUs or a flight suit and a bunch of jute and everything else. You know, those can get really heavy. This is lightweight, portable, compact, fits easily in your gear, easy on, easy off, easy day. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a comment.